think this is correct. We'll take a look here. Yep. Make weird faces and then see if it works. Oh, I am live. That's cool. I don't know if it'll. Oh well. Damn, it works right away. That's kind of cool. We're live now. I'm picture in picture. So I was like, okay, I should probably like have something prepared beforehand, but no. Um, I haven't done one of these in a very long time. That's mostly just because I've been trying to set up the home studio and everything. And then I started trying to. I haven't had time for anything. I've just been at work a lot, and I've been working weekends, like 3 or 4 weekends in a row. So, like, the whole last month has just been like on and off, and then holidays and stuff like that happened. So I wasn't really. I was waiting for it to get cold, and then it got really cold. And so then it was like too hot to do things, and then too cold to do things. And yeah, that's kind of how it went. And now we're here. Um, Pulling up my notes. Where do we want to start? Well, I'll give it a few more minutes to just begin. I'll kind of explain some of the stuff as far as like the studio setup goes before like anything. So I will actually move myself over here. Ooh, I'm moving around. It's like I'm on the DVD menu. Yeah, okay, so over here, as you may see, over where I'm pointing, um, I'll just do this right here. That's the RC300. I'm still thinking I'm in the same fucking places before. All right, so I'm thinking about getting rid of this because it's broken. Like if I stomp on it too hard, it loses audio. And then like I also noticed, I thought you could buy some switch pedals, so I bought some switch pedals to try to control these buttons. And I realized that you can't record. You still have to use these buttons to record. There's no option to do the recording. You can delete the track. So right now I have it set up so I could do all my looping and stuff like that. And just if I want to be like, nah, this is garbage, there's a button over there I can just delete everything with. So that works. But I'm having lots of major problems. The microphone input, I don't know if you noticed this, but it's all crooked down right here. It's all crooked. It's all broken. And then I've got like all sorts of input output problems. These guys like to pop out for some reason, which is why I'm noticing like maybe they're supposed to be like screwed in or something. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. These are always like I've always thought these were very piss poor jacks that they had, and the input output control for it has always been very kind of like like I think that like you put too much level in and then it like gives you too much output. And I've always like had that idea of like, oh, you want it to be kind of peaking a little bit before it goes in to like give it a little crunch or like, nah, you can't really do that with this thing. It sounds like ass. So you're basically limited as far as like what looping options you can do too. You've got 3 looping sections, 1, 2, and 3. Each one can be independent. So if you want to do one shots, you could do one shots for each loop section. Or if you wanted to program everything on the same track, you can do that. There's a way to do it where you can program loops on top of other loops, but if you don't like time it right, the loop starts early and has like will like either give you extra time into the like it'll play and then just keep playing until the other loop ends and then start to track over again at the other side, or it'll like not quite record everything the right way and then kind of like cut you off and like you have like not all of the loop recorded. So that's happened before too. So there's all sorts of like weird caveats with it. And then I also have like a lot of routing stuff that I want to do that has tempted me to, if possible, sell the RC300. I mean, it's probably I'll sell it for like probably like $150, $100 or something like that, if somebody wants to buy it. Because it's kind of broken, but it still works as a basic looper. It still functions. It just needs a little work. I don't know. It doesn't have as much of a problem on loop 3. So if you start with loop 3, the other loops usually work good, but loop 1 you usually cut the audio out at the beginning, and it has problems with the recording. I want to get an RC600, the new one. It's not new; it's been out for 2 years. But like, I want to get it for two reasons. One is, um, I've read a lot of stuff about it. I know that it's pretty like complicated, and that actually kind of appeals to me because this thing is complicated. And once you get the hang of this thing, you're like, oh, okay, so it's more like a DAW, and you have to think about it like a recording interface. So you kind of have to like mix and match your expertise as far as like what recording, and so you have to like think a little differently. But once you get the hang of it, and once you learn how to use everything, it is actually a very good and powerful tool. The RC600 is supposed to be the same kind of thing. My only problem with it is that it is a little bit more software-y. This is a little bit more hardware based, and so if this thing has fuck up problems, it's probably because of something you did and you have to like reprogram something. But if that thing has problems, you have to like reformat stuff, and like I don't really want to have to deal with that. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have to deal with that for right now. I'll just try to learn how to use it with this. And I've spent like a really good amount of time trying to get it to work properly, to where it's going to like run everything out that I have, because the way that I have this routed here is I have that down there. There's the Model 12 mixing board from Tascam, and that interface goes to my microphones for the drums. So I've got snare mic, and let me see. I'm gonna do the pointer. The snare mic right there, and then like there's a kick drum mic inside of the kick drum in there somewhere, and then like there's overheads that go here somewhere. But that's those two are going to line in for a compressor, because I have those are going to a tube preamp, and then that goes to a DoD guitar stereo compressor, and so they go to a compressor, and then they go out of the compressor into the Tascam on line 9 and 10, and then 1, 2, and yeah, it's just 1 and 2 for drums, and then for a guitar and bass I have 3 and 5, and then channel 4 is broken. It's like cutting in and out, and I don't know how to fix it. And then channel 6 has my Shure mixer input it's a line mixer with like a couple different things plugged in, and then 7 and 8 is the sample SPDSX sampler in stereo, and that's being controlled with MIDI by a Akai Rhythm Wolf. So the Akai Rhythm Wolf is also going into the Shure mixing board, and then I also have the Micro Brute synthesizer plugged into the Shure, and then I also have a Micro Korg that's down there that I never use, and then all my guitar stuff is basically sent out from, it's all DI'd right now, so it's the bass plugs directly into the DI channel for the cab driver, and then I'm using an Ampeg cab bass cab for guitar that's running through a bunch of pedals. So the pedals right now are, let's just take a look here down. I mean, you can't really see them because I'm not going to move the camera, but it's basically that Blue Boss compressor down there. There's the Walmart the POC drive, Walmart pedal, baby. Walmart pedal is great. It sounds so weird and doesn't sound like anything else, and it has controls that they're not linear. They're like weird and they react to each other. Gaiatone OD2 Plus. That's the 90s one. I have an original OD2 in my bag, my cymbal bag, I think. So I was using it for just like vocals and stuff. There's a Just Pro, like it's a Tube Screamer copy. Yeah, not the Turbo Tube Screamer, but the Tube Screamer copy. And then, or Turbo Distortion. It could be a Turbo Distortion. I don't know. It sounds more like a Tube Screamer to me, but that's the one that has it's like a chimpanzee with a leather jacket on. He's playing a reverend. It's like what the hell? I got it from Amazon. And then POC Dist, which is another Walmart pedal. That's the distortion one. They both sound like, they just sound weird. HD2 Guiatone. That one's like a big muff. I have a big muff that I have a tone wicker big muff over here that's underneath the there's no actual that's not even though that looks like it's got Panda Express in there, there's no Panda Express in there. There are some like packets and stuff, but it's just like dry garbage, loose garbage. I gotta throw that away. But yeah, there's a Guiatone pedals. Oh no, I've actually gotten rid of them. Oh, no, I've got a couple more of them over here. Those are for the Micro Brute, MD3, MC3, and then so the ones over here are just like the randos. Like my phaser, that's a what's it called? Digitech hardwire phaser. And then the fucking mini fuzz face that Matt Berry denies that he traded with me. that I totally have still, that I use all the time. And the Legend of Fuzz pedal that I've never been able to sell. It sounds terrible and I can't get rid of it. It's just like it's a fuzz pedal where like they put the gate up all the way. So like there's one sound, like you turn the gate down and then it's just like it's like a battery's dead. That's what it sounds like. It's and it's like I got it because I was like, oh man, it's gonna sound all 8-bit lo-fi. But then I got it and realized like, oh, there's one sound on this. Like you turn it up to max and that's like the cool sound, and then you try to control any of the knobs and it's just like no. It does sound cool though. Like if you plug a bass into it, it does actually sound really cool, really sick. It's like, it's just like, there's no other sound. It's just like it's a square wave distortion. Fuzz pedal. Couple of those Flamma. I've got like 2 Flamma modulation pedals. I'll bring them over. Just bring them over. I'm stuck. Hold on. It's because I'm tied to wires. Custard was playing with the wire earlier. Oh, I've got one of these. So these are cool. The Flamma, I guess I could do this here. Put it this way. That's even worse. There's like no way around the camera's just looking bad. Anyways, there's cat hair on it, even though it's all the way up there. Basically what this is, there's a lot of like broken. It looks cool actually. It looks all like this, like nasty, like chipped and stuff up there. I guess, yeah, like that sort of thing. But this thing is cool. It has like a bunch of digital effects on it, and it's real small. And so you just throw this in on a pedal board, and the cool effect that I like the most on this is the rotary. There's a Leslie effect that's on there. I don't know if you can read that. You can't read that. That's fine. It says rotary on top of there. Rotary. Yeah, here you go. The other ones are all right. Like there's an auto phase and tremolo. The tremolo is pretty good. It's just standard tremolo. Flanger, some tone suck, you know, that sort of thing, but the rotary sound is good, and the vibrato's okay. The rotary sound though is worth it, like for the $50 or whatever I spent for these. I think I spent $30 for these, yeah, like $30, and then I got them on sale, so it was like plus sale like 25, so I got 2 of them. It was like 50. There's also the low bit, like there's a bit crusher, $30. Not bad. Pedals are expensive, so if you get like expensive guitar tones from like cheap pedals, you just buy 2 of them, and then now you've got like the pedal that is expensive. It's like, there you go. Like, you don't need a lot of stuff. The other thing is I have quite a few EHX pedals. I have a Mel 9 over here. Yes, I do. So temperamental, and it breaks down on me all the time. So Mel 9, most people are familiar with this. So this thing is like the most temperamental pedal I've ever owned in my life. Other than I have a Memory Boy that's broken, but still sounds cool. So like the Bucket Brigade chips are just like dying on it. So the way that it's working is essentially it's analog pedal. So back in the day when I first got it, you plug it in, turn it on. It would need to warm up. It would just work right away. And now it needs like a good probably like 5 minutes to start warming up. And then once it's warmed up, it'll work fine for a good like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like you could get your set in, like let it warm up, get your set in, play your songs. It sounds great. And then once the chip's warmed up a little bit, it'll probably overheat a little bit, and then like your vibratos and your stuff just goes way out of range and just starts to go crazy and do stuff. So I would be in practice and I would have this pedal on, and like in the beginning, like it would sound great, and I'd be playing stuff, and then like over time, it would just start to sound crazy, like just weird. And for a while, I was using it as an effect. It was actually a really cool effect. Like it was the effect for like a lot of the SG stuff. A lot of the stuff on Custard, for example, is like just that pedal and into a tape machine, and then speeding it, because like you have the analog delay from modulation from the analog delay and vibrato, and then the tape speed modulating, and then like you're outputting it, and it's all like everything's just like vibratoing. It was really cool, but then like at a certain point, you kind of like can't do it anymore because the vibrato is like too crazy, and then you're like, I'm not gonna get another one of these, so I gotta find new stuff to look into. So you get the digital stuff. That's everybody's pathway. I've seen pretty much everybody go down the same route, same rabbit hole. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention I have a classic metal down there sound tank, so that goes out to this classic metal sound tank from the HD2, and then out to the Cab Driver VR, and then the Cab Driver VR is like my main DI box. I haven't tried anything else really, to be honest. I bought that just kind of on a whim and was thinking like, I'll be probably using this as like a way to like get interesting tones and like kind of scoop, because when you listen to it and like you actually kind of play around with it, all it is it's a comb filter, where it notches itself on a very, very specific frequency impulse, and then kind of as you're moving you can hear it go, like actually you can hear the cue moving over the frequency range and as you play the note. It's kind of like this, like when you're like where as you go up, the notes go down and then back up, and that because there's a frequency range, like so, and the harmonic range is the same, even though you're hitting the same spot. Like it's the tonality that's changing as you're going up. The actual notes for those harmonics are staying the same, and so with the impulse response, it's basically like from the bottom to the top. And that might not make a whole lot of sense unless you've like played around with it, but that's what the speaker size does. So when you have it really low, that response is like really open, and when you have it really high, that spot's really tightened up. But like other than that, how those combs, because there's a series of combs depending on each impulse response, how those combs are responding is will depend upon the notch for the speaker size. And then the other thing is you could combine and mix them. And so like if you have them running in stereo, like I could unplug the bass and then have it running in stereo out, and then I could have two amps, or I could just make them put them in series and then have them stacked. And that seems to get you the most like complicated like recorded guitar tones if you're trying to make something that sounds new and fancy. So you have lots of options for that. Although right now I'm just using it as a splitter, because I wanted two inputs out, and then I wanted like, I guess I could just plug DI straight in, but that's like the other thing is like if I just unplug it, then I've got a way to do stereo split for guitar. And then drums wise, we're running basic stuff. I mean, really, I honestly kind of want to put it away. So I can focus on just like everything else and do more like just electronic drums for a little bit. I haven't actually done a true electric setup over here. I've got the Guyatone amp, and I've got a couple small amps over here, as well as I've got the Roland on top of this rack that you can't see over here. And below here, of course, is all the wiring and the loose stuff, assorted junk. And yeah, drum wise, I guess, like, I mean, you may see over here that I have my cymbals vaulted up. So I bought I bought a double guitar stand for my cymbals over there, and because I was using this guitar stand over here as where my bass is, which you can't see. I was using that as a cymbal vault, but it was like just too many cymbals on it. It was just like tilting down. So now I've got that one. That one's a double, so I've got all my hi-hats on one side. I've got a lot of hi-hats, and all my rides and crashes on the other side. I don't have a lot of crash cymbals. I have like 2 or 3, really. Mostly just have ride cymbals and hi-hats. And then what else do I have going on? I mean, I do have like the shelving over here. I've got some extra pedals. My whammies over on the side over there where the drill is. It's above that, actually. And then oh yeah, over here on the like over this side, over where over here, like right up there, where that white thing is, where there's just junk kind of sitting on top of it. That is my drum equipment, like basically percussion equipment, and all of that is essentially stuff I bought from Goodwill Finds for like $70. Everything from the like Rainmaker to I've got stupid little drums. I've got like a couple tambourines, bells, cowbells. I've got three sizes of cowbell. I've got I've got an go shakers. We got a couple kalimbas, and then the top rack is all equipment, just like the sticks and other stuff too, just assorted random stuff. And yeah, I mean, like, really, the next step is essentially like, okay, do I make this more of a studio-based studio, or do I make this more of just like the home range, and of course, like, clean up stuff like that, take care of some other other junk around the place. This is the tester, by the like, yeah, you're probably all like, what the fuck is that? This is the tester. I feel like, what the fuck is that? Is this literally? I have a ceiling fan, so I would put a glove on. This one's so old, I can't believe that. It's been a while since I did this, but like, I put the glove on this, and then I just take it and I put that on top of there to make sure that it's like, if it's dirty or not. It's pretty fucking dirty, and I need to clean it again. But since I got the vacuum, I haven't needed to do that. I just go up there and. It's been in here for a while too, but I've been like kind of maneuvering things, and also we cleaned the living room, and that was like kind of crazy because 5 cats is kind of a lot of cats. Had Irene had her. Well, don't dox myself. No doxing myself, but like, yeah, I had people over yesterday. I had somebody over yesterday, so it was like kind of have to keep things clean and stay not disgusting. All right, so that's pretty much where the studio is. I guess like the next step for me is like I gotta start recording stuff as demo equipment. This is how the equipment works. This is what I got, and try to record some stuff, and then see what's up from there. Interface wise, I'm now like kind of thinking about upgrading some stuff because the Model 12 is shitting out on me, which is my fault. But I've never been able to get it to work properly. I've been cool with these Behringer devices. I use the Euphoria 404 for most of my regular purposes. So I might get an 808 or maybe the 16 channel one. I might, because it's kind of like, fuck it. If it's like just to get everything into input output for recording and not have to worry about a damn thing ever again, like all the wiring just goes cable snake out, I might do it. Because like, as much as I love this is more for the looping setup. This is for so I can just quickly do all that stuff, but doing the recording interface would be more for like actual work, which I don't know if I'm ever going to have people over here for that kind of stuff, but would be kind of cool. Because Cool. So we have already done all of that. We can go on to my stupid subject wise stuff. We do have the AI. Okay, AI masterclass. I was forced to watch forced to watch, not forced to watch. Just like I have to watch stuff for work. I had to watch an AI masterclass from masterclass.com. It was for Gen AI, I think. And there's a couple of things that drew my attention. Well, first of all, is the fact that AI is fundamentally it's a tool, right? It's the same the way that you have to look at AI is: would you hire a human being to do the same thing? Would you tell somebody to do? Like, do you trust a person? If you trusted somebody enough to do something for you, and they could do it for you, would you have them do it, or would you do it yourself? Is it easier for you to do it yourself? Is it better for you to do it yourself? That's the first thing that you should ask yourself when it comes to AI. And that's the thing that's pissing me off about a lot of the AI stuff, because a lot of the AI stuff, and they literally said this in the stupid fucking AI masterclass that I had to watch. They always say, what are you going to do with all the free time you acquired? What are you fucking talking about? I wouldn't have free time. I would have more free time if I didn't have to do this, if I didn't have to work, right? If I was just a homeless person, I would have more free time. So being like, what are you going to do with all this free time that you have from what you would otherwise have? I don't have to do any of that shit in the first place, because that's something that I would have to do for money, right? So looking at it from the perspective of like, what are you going to do? It's like, I'm going to do the same thing that I always do. Like, that's stupid. Like, but regardless, the time is the same amount of time. There's no amount of time saved just because I have a tool that might help me be more efficient. So that's the first thing that you have to like cross off the checklist of bad things that they suggest in any kind of AI video, or any, for it to be a masterclass, and for them to be like, yeah, you're gonna save so much time by doing all this stuff. It's like, no, you're not. You're definitely not gonna save any time with AI. What you're going to save is the necessity to have to spend like unneeded time on things, meaning like you probably are going to be doing the same shit that you always do, but you're going to do this monotonous task on the side to make money, right? That's a fulfillment in life, though. That's something that you probably feel good about at the end of the day. I feel good about something because I did it. It was a task. I did it. That being taken away from you in AI means that like you're going to have to do more meaningful things and have to think more about stuff as like as an individual, which means that like as time goes on, jobs are going to be progressively just people telling you to think outside the box while you can't, because you're just stuck with all these machines that think linearly. And so the people that think linearly, who would otherwise be extremely successful people that have the capability to do things repeatedly and accurately, who are the people that should be trusted on things, are going to be cast aside, while the people that are, basically just like, I'm cool with this, are just going to be like ahead of everybody, right? But that's not the case, because what's going to happen is your tools are just tools, and like people are just going to come in and be like spending all their time. I'm like trying to figure out what that was. People are just going to spend all their time using the tools, trying to analyze the tools. And that seems to be the case with for example, I have a coworker that's doing that right now. And it's just like, he's not doing as much of the regular work because his job right now is to focus on all of that stuff. It's like, what free time is he having? Does he get from doing this? There's no free time. So that was the first episode that was, and so that was my first takeaway. So, all the other takeaways I understand, like the whole idea of like what AI is, they kind of explain that. They do kind of toot their own horn and talk really, like, give themselves praise about like how like you need to be ahead of the curve with this. It's like, what ahead of what curve? It's fucking artificial intelligence. There's regular intelligence out there. We're still studying regular intelligence. So the artificial intelligence is just one field of intelligence. You're treating this one field like it's the major field. But intelligence is the major field. So you should be into the concept of intelligence. You should be like rooted in that. Like, you shouldn't be rooted in machines doing stuff and then people and like having to follow people who make the machines, because that seems to be like you're under the control of the people that are making the machines, not so much like you have the control to like figure out and do stuff in the future. It's kind of like, well, it's now time for you to pay us money so that we could keep doing this, which is the first takeaway that I had from it. I was like, all right, so this is just somebody like kind of promoting it. I'm like, what kind of tools can you promote to me? Analytical tools, they're cool. Like some of them are fine. Like the idea that like a machine is telling you what's right or wrong is a little weird, right? That's okay for a calculator, but then like, right, like if you look at a calculator and the number is wrong, you'd be like, oh, I need to do it again, right? So if the machine is like, yeah, totally, you should kill yourself, then it's probably not the best machine in the world. So, and with the Google AI stuff that happened recently, that happened. The stick fell over. With the Google AI stuff that's been happening recently, yeah, I think the guy that tried to like, there's this Indian guy that like, I don't know the whole story, but like this dude like got the Google AI to tell him to kill himself. Like it would be better if you just died. Yeah, it's like that. It's like it's only going to give you the solution like a calculator is going to give you the solution. And if the solution isn't what you want, which is what AI is like the idea is like, how do you train the AI to give you what you want? Well, I mean, what all these different people are going to have different wants. So they're going to have AIs that could potentially battle each other. But in step one, essentially, they're going over all of the analytical tools. So it's like from an analytical perspective, I'm like, oh yeah, fine. Like that's totally useful. Like you could use these tools as that. You know, as long as you take it with a grain of salt and you don't treat it like you're a fucking genius just because you're using an analytical tool that, you know what I mean? Like another person is an analytical tool. A better analytical tool than AI in most cases. That's the other scary part is being like, oh, now you're treating people like they're worse than the AI when it comes to the analytics. That is really depressing, but like I could get into that over and over again. We're not even at the real number 2 is the real one because it's the second masterclass that really gets me. The first one is fine. The first one is just like they're going over the analytical tools. They're talking about praise for themselves. They're bringing up the whole thing about how this is like really powerful tool that's going to change the world. They don't explain why or how or even what kind of way it could actually potentially do it. They just say that it's going to be a really powerful tool and people are going to use it. And then in number 2, they talk about creativity. And the creativity level that goes on in number 2 boils down to a couple things. But you have a guy who's essentially like trying to tell you about how you can quickly and easily make an advertisement for a company. So he picks a theme randomly. So he's like, I'm going to make a company that does, I think it was like overnight jet services. But for some reason, he's like trying to make it relevant to him. The only way this guy could make it relevant to him was through race for some reason. I couldn't understand why. Like the whole point of the thing was basically like, instead of it being like, hey, I'm going to make, we're going to make this specifically so that it appeals to people that, like that it'll hit the demographic market, right? The demographic market of people that need overnight flights are probably business people. So you would think in business people terms, like, okay, well, like, and there's no real, like, grander thought beyond that. Like, just, you would think that the AI as a machine would just pick that sort of thing, right? But it's the human aspect that makes it, the, like, the personality, that gives it the personality. And so what this guy does is the first clue is he's like, let's just try to we're gonna make an advertisement now. So he first makes a logo and everything. He picks it's called Jet ZZ or something like that. I'm like, that's a terrible name. That's a horrible name. I forgot what the name was. It was like Jet something, but like I think it actually came out to like Jet Z. And I was like, okay. terrible logo. It gives a bunch of like generic like they look like what are those old school like the when you had what was it when you sent an email and you had like the I'll figure that out later. I'll remember what that's called later. But yeah, it was like really like it looked like the 90s logo. Looked like straight up something from the 90s, like 90s Windows. Like it just straight up looked really like crappy and like just like and like it still had some like guff on it too, a little AI guff on it. Like you can try to make it look not perfect, that sort of thing. The AI guff, man. It was there too. I wish I could show this, but like it's like a plane and it says jet. And then, but then it goes into him trying to make the pictures for the advertisement. And what I noticed is immediately he's trying to make, well, I didn't notice this right away, but he's like, now let's try to make, we want to make an image. So I want to make it, there's a person on an airport. And then he goes, half black, half white, dreads. And then I forgot what else he says. He says something else. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, and I'm putting two together. I'm like I'm like, why would, and then I'm like, oh, he's making himself. I'm like, why would you self-insert yourself? And so at first I'm like, wait, computer I'm like, oh, he's making himself. Okay, so that makes sense. So at first I'm like, okay, he's just making himself. That's fine. That's okay, whatever. So he makes himself, and I'm like, all right, he's advertising to himself. That's cool, whatever. Like some people will do that, whatever. It just seems irrelevant, right? Like why would you advertise to yourself if it's a company that's for something that I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like it seems like for a master class, it seemed like they were going really, really, really at a bad level. Like they weren't thinking about it. But that's more so because of what I saw afterwards. So he finds a picture of a guy sleeping in first class, like a white guy sleeping in first class. And then he's like, highlights the face and he's like, make this black. So in the AI masterclass, they teach you how to make blackface. In the AI masterclass, they teach you how to make blackface. I'm like sitting there going, like I get it. I get what he's trying to do, but like this is crazy. You can't wait. You're gonna take somebody else's art, that someone that drew the art, highlight their face, and use AI to put a black person in there from their drawn art of a white guy. He's still white. He's a white guy with a white body, and you just took the face and you put an AI black person in the face. And I'm looking at it like, this is a fucking come down bit. This can't exist. Why does this exist? Like why are they telling us to do this? Like take a picture of Mario, highlight his face, and then say Adolf Hitler. Like I don't really get like what, and I'm like not trying to say that it's like good to bad. I'm just trying to say like what is the point of blackfacing somebody else's artwork? Like what's the point of doing that? Why not just say do the art thing that you just did? You guy on plane, half black, half white, dreads, sitting in first class. Why couldn't you do that? Why did you have to do digital blackface? Why did you have to tell people how to do digital blackface? I don't get it. In the masterclass. And then part 3, so then that goes in, and then he does the video. The AI video looks like a fucking Windows Movie Maker screen show. It's so bad. It's like, and he does some like AI music too. That's with it. Like he goes in and like generates some like generic. Yeah, I like that. It's like the worst. And then he at the end he makes slop. And then he's like, this looks great. I don't. This could look like an advertisement on your phone. You totally 5 minutes. I made this in 5 minutes. Can't you see how good? It's just like, you made slop. You made slop and you taught white people how to do digital blackface. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm like just confused. I'm so confused. I'm just like, I'm baffled by that. I'm just like, why would you tell people how to do that? I have the picture. Wait, I should show that. That shit is so insane. It might be in my screenshots. Maybe not. I'll have to find it. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I don't have it right away. I can't find it. I do have a video of it or a picture of it somewhere. It's pretty crazy. Number 3 was like, they got some guy that was like, and I'm not, no offense to like anybody at the, like, as far as this goes, like, I don't think they intended anything wrong. It's just like, when somebody does something and then like it's taken out of context in such a way that like it ends up making it worse than it should be. And like, the thing for me is that like, you should never do that. You should never be able to like, because imagine if you're like a white guy and you're like, yeah, so we got this black guy in first class. I don't like that. Let's make him white. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, the concept is, because I can't not put myself in the shoes. So the concept is the same to me, and I can't look at it as anything else. And so I just think of it as like, okay, this is crazy. I can't believe that they're teaching people that. The third episode is like all about AI avatars and like getting the AI to do what is that called? When you have it's not an AI, it's not just the AI avatar, but like it's the fuck, it's when you tool that somebody else made. Like, just because you're a marketing person. That's crazy, but like that's literally how it is. And then like, so I don't have like any problem with the guy. The third guy though, the only problem I have with it is that like when he does start talking about how he's using his AI avatars, he's like, I'm using this to protect my language. And so what I've done is I've put in my own poetry and my own writing, and I'm like, oh, you can't put your own writing in and expect the AI to like do anything. Your own writing is just your own writing. It's basically English. It's just the same language to it. It won't be able to like think like your people. It won't be able to, no, it needs some other platform. It needs, or you need a network of people who can all write in. But having only your own writing in there is not gonna, it's going to save very little, as far as I know. And like, and that to me is more of like, these are examples to appeal to people. These are examples to appeal, but they don't appeal in the right way. They're supposed to appeal in like an efficiency, working class mentality. Like, hey, you, the guy that works the desk job, hey, guess what? There are all these AI tools that you could use to make your job half as hard. They don't say that. It's more like, hey, you could use these analytical tools to save the world. It's like, no, you can't. It's what you can do is you could use them to fuck off and go to the bar for a little bit longer. That's what you mean. That's what you fucking mean. That's what you mean by, well, what are you going to do with the extra time? Well, I'm going to go jack off in the company restroom because I have... What the fuck do you mean? like, I can't... What do you mean? That, like, that is... The extra time that you have is the time that you were using before. You were just lollygagging and delaying things. Like, now you just got tools that let you do it faster. Like, okay, cool. Or tools that make you have to do more stuff or more work that you have to do because you've been forced to have to sit there and, do that. All right, yeah, no, okay, that was good. That was good. And back to AI. So AI has affected everything now. So it's like the real key to the AI stuff is that the AI is essentially trying to be like you and trying to suggest things like you, even though you may want new things, which is the frustrating part. Like the AI really does want to give you the same suggestions over and over again. It really does just want you to think that you're the same person all the time, even though you probably change all the time. The biggest change, the biggest one that I've ever seen in this, for sure, is in the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm used to be great. You load up the page and you would have new videos every single time you load up the home page. You select a category and you'd get completely different videos, not completely based on just what you've seen, or even, unfortunately, just videos that you've already seen over and over again. I just reloaded YouTube and I'm still seeing the West Virginia Snake Church thing from Channel 5. I've seen that video already, and I don't know why I'm still getting recommended it. It's like the YouTube algorithm is just like, sometimes there are things that are just built into it that are like, hey, you should just watch the same stuff over and over again. Like, I don't know why. I've also figured out that I've got two accounts. I've got a work account that I use just for replying to things at work, and I've got an account that I use for my main account. And they're different email addresses. My main account for my original account is so old that it's on a different algorithm entirely. And I can tell because when I load the page, I get a view that is completely different than the view that I get from my new channel. And I cannot load my other account to get me that view. It does not show me that view. It'll only show me the new view. And the new view is all based on AI. It's almost entirely just AI generated, like not AI generated, but AI. The suggestions are the same suggestions. They're all based on what I had just watched. It's like, that's fine, but for going on YouTube and trying to start out a video, to surf from video to video, it's impossible because you're just going, unless you just want to watch the same stuff over and over again, you're always going to see the same 25 suggestions. On my original account, that's so old that it adds some sort of semblance to the original YouTube algorithm, there is actually a weird thing that I have discovered, and I will briefly share my window here. So as you can see, my suggestions are pretty poor. I'm getting a lot of, I also have weird suggestions based on my subscriptions. Like I've got Mystery Science Theater 3000, which I probably should not be subscribed to anymore. I don't watch any of that stuff. Adult Swim, who constantly live stream, and then my top subscription is always Tamers 1 2 3 4 5. And then yeah, I mean, subs wise, other than when my sub stuff comes in, that's great. I like that. Let's go ahead and do this. But so this is what I'm saying. Well, no, I don't want to click on that. Hello, Film Brain. Hello, Film Brain. Hello, Film Brain. I love Film Brain. Oh, dude, he looks so crazy now. He looks insane. He looks like fucking he's morphing into Doug Walker. It's crazy. He looks like he is Doug Walker. That man looked like he is Doug Walker. Okay, so look, you might see my cursor here. So these are all of the subscription-based, non-subscription-based. So I always get suggested dollar stream and anything Sam Hyde right now because I do watch these videos occasionally. I'll click on the ones that have the most enticing background, the most retarded, sorry, bad word, the most insane background pictures. I'm also getting suggested lots of stuff that would be suggested to a 30-year-old man. So yeah, of course. But for my algorithm, I get suggested in the top right corner videos that are under 1,000 plays, typically. So if I reload the page, I get, this is a version of this is hot butter popcorn. I like how I'm actually there's no videos underneath here, so it's I'm perfectly right there. That's cool. I like that. These videos are cool because what happens is if I reload the page, I get Popcorn is the popcorn is the page. It, as long as if I say that I'm not interested in the videos, it'll continue to suggest videos that are less than 1,000 plays. So I got War of the Worlds historical footage. I don't know how that's historical footage considering the fact that the War of the Worlds wasn't real. Yeah, that's totally real. Those drums were in the War of the Worlds. You just have to say that you're not interested and then reload the page. And then you just keep getting suggested Come Town and fucking Chapo Trap House. Chapo Trap House I can't get into. I can't for two reasons. Okay, number one, they just explain stuff. All they do is so yeah, so this is a bottle of water. So it's water is like it's hydrogen and oxygen and like so it comes from from hydrogen in the air and the oxygen in the air and then there's this thing called condensation where the hotness comes and the water comes from the air and then they collect it on the side of the wall and then they're just continuously explaining what the fuck a bottle of water is. Shut the fuck up. Tell a joke. And like that's all they're just explaining what the fuck the bottle of water is. And then you have the guy that sounds like Slow Beef. And then you have the guy that sounds like fucking Slow Beef.
Or this piece of shit game. Project Scissors.
This is not the guy.
I'll take it. Thank you, Glenn Frog Rock.
So, you think that's the guy from Chapo Trap House? No, it's not. That's Slow Beef. No, it's not. So, I can't not hear. He's older now, so he's got more of a gruff voice. But like when he was younger, like if you watch old Red Supre, sounds exactly. What is that guy? It's Will, right? I think it's Will from Chapo. It's like the one guy sounds exactly like him. It's just like, but Red Supre is. Oh, okay, she's back. Hold on. was like, oh. I was like, oh shit. There we go. I'm back. Okay. My girlfriend came home. And I was doing laundry. And my landlord was out there. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the rhythm. The old rhythm. The old rhythm. The algo. Hold on. So? I want to get. I guess I should get Popeyes or something later. Alright. Alright. Back to reality. She came back because she forgot soap. She forgot the Tide Pods. This is a ginormous like block of time with nothing. That's cool. Okay, we're back to current time, and I'm just checking the live stream to make sure that I'm up to current time on there. And I didn't mean to, like, yeah, Chinese people lack manners explained is like the funniest. I was like, what does that mean? Explained. Like there's no explained. It's just like it's the same as any other culture of people. Like people that lack manners are just people that lack manners. There's people that have manners and people that lack manners. There's examples of that in every culture is what I'm trying to say. It's just that with Chinese people sometimes sometimes it's just culturally specific, and the examples that were provided in that video weren't the most culturally specific ones. I still say the most insane video I've ever seen in my life is can't even say on, because most insane video I've ever seen in my life, the one that made me like literally like just my brain was just like broken after watching it, was just, it's a video from China where like a middle-aged woman just stops in the middle of the road and has a baby on the ground, and it's like it's like what the, like onto the concrete, like just walking and then just like the range of emotions that I felt from watching that video, from disgust to surprise to like the fact that like I only laugh about it after the fact. I mean, come on, like if you're gonna laugh at that during the fact, that's not gonna happen. 70s Goblin Tessamade 860 demonstration. I mean, like, I get videos like this. This is the kind of video I get. I get, like, you go into these accounts and it's just like, this is a kid who is recording his family. I was like a homeschooled, like, I don't know what the fuck is up with some of these accounts, okay? Lloyd Williams, My World, like, I'm getting this sort of thing. Like, this is a wizard, like an actual wizard. My oldies. Go to the before I get content matched immediately. I just want to see what's in his oldies. Cause there's that's amazing. It's just like just dad rock. It's sick. Grandpa. Oh yeah, and then you start clicking on it. Now I'm getting suggested just wizards. Hell yeah, wizard time, bro. Wizard stream. Oh my god, dude, this is I keep getting suggested wizards. He's what the fuck? I'm not. Is this gay wizard? Asian wizard. You get Asian wizards. Crazy wizards. Crazy wizards. We got crazy wizards. Look at these crazy wizards. Look at the crazy wizard. All right, I'm gonna say I'm not interested in these wizards and try to get new wizards. I'm not interested. Oh. When I get suggested music, sometimes I want to click. I can't do it on live stream though. More crazy wizards. Hell yeah. Crazy wizards. This dude's smoking a cigarette and the 50-year-old diaper baby man-child. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. I'm gonna say, don't recommend me that. Give me more wizards. What kind of wizard is this? Machinery wizard. Random video wizard. Random Vizio wizard. Wizard? That's not the right kind of thing. Oh no, because it moved over here. I'll say I'm not interested and see if I can get a better video. What do we get? Oh, it moved over here. Red Fang, Wandering Spider biting wizards. Spider and bug biting wizard. Spider and bug biting wizard. Okay, that's interesting. World War II Cup wizard. And knife. And memorabilia. And gun. Gun wizard. Gun wizard. That's a good one. I like that one. Let's recycle that again. I need more wizard. Tiny vids. Tiny video wizard. I don't know, like, this is just this is like, this is what they call an ARG. Find my family. Chosen one. The chosen one. More wizardry. Daniel Hooper. More wizards. This guy looks crazy. That's a crazy wizard. That wizard is crazy looking. I'm not interested in these wizards. We want to find real wizards, real magic. We're trying to find real wizards right now. Real magic, wizardry. Under 500 play wizardry. That doesn't want to do. I guess this is all that's all he has. No. Organ wizard. Damn, dude, organ wizard. Rare wizard. So rare wizard tune. Hell yeah. Rare Wizards, go back like that video for that Rare Wizard tune. I need that Rare Wizard tune. Bug biting is more of like a stunt than a wizardry though. So I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in magic tricks and wizardry. Strange travels. Oh, is this one of those? It's nah. That was an auditor, an audist. AFN Europe, AFN Morning News, SPC Mike Perkins, 1992, 1352. I don't know how they got the news from 1352. That's crazy, bro. Joel Vinesauce calls a sex hotline. That's more of a, that's not a wizard. That's not wizardry either. TV dinners? I tried to hit a bunch of TV dinners. She looks like that because she ate a bunch of TV dinners. That's why. Piano removal. Oh, this is the same channel as before. Let's go back. I don't want to. I've just screwed the algorithm up now. How to water a houseplant. That's not a. That's. I'm no longer getting wizards. This sucks. I'm gonna have to go back to my actual stream. I'm gonna have to do real things. Shoot 'em up music start 1 THX by Boss Boys Gaming Channel. Just hung shoot it. Bye. Xiao Hung Shu. Until the 5 sides are golden. The animated series. Oh, that's just like because they just uploaded a new video. Oh no, YouTube! It's a YouTuber. Oh no, it's a YouTuber. I can't handle this shit, bro. Oh my god. All right, I'm bored of this. Let's just like not. What did I just click on? Harvest.io. I'm not playing that shit, bro. Stop that. Get that out of my fucking face. I just clicked on a game. Get that out of my face. We can get rid of that one right there, and I can put myself back in the middle. Make myself bigger again. There we go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I had 0 concurrent viewers. I've had no likes. It's all good. So that was the YouTube algorithm, tube, and small channels are always going to stay small, unless you have major commercial aspirations. That seems to be the case, and that's going to show you that you're either a wizard or a small man. Small man in a big small man pool of small man. Which small. Like the rest of the stuff that I wrote out here is literally just like about the Drake beef and how stupid suing the major record label. First of all, suing the record label is like, how do I explain that? It would be like getting hurt at work and then like slipping on a piece of cheese at work and then suing Kraft. Or like suing your company, like I don't know, it's like slipping on a banana peel at work and then suing your company and not like, but like, and then like realize, oh, there was no banana peel, and actually like you ate the banana. You ate the banana. I think with that it's an integrity thing, right? Like you have about 15 years of hip hop being a payola scheme. Like clearly just like obviously being a payola scheme. You have all these guys that clearly have like too much money that are just like focused so hard on trying to make sure that all eyes are on them, and that if any eyes go towards anybody else, that they have to stay relevant in some way, shape, or form. And then you look at Drake's career, and it's kind of obvious that he's attached himself to the youth scene, youth crew, and younger people, and he's approaching his 40s, and it's like, you can't do that anymore. Like, you have to have an older, like a group of people that like grow up with you, and then you keep that audience, because the younger audience isn't going to just want to, like, be obsessed with you unless you still have the integrity from your previous audience. A lot of that integrity went away with this whole beef thing, but a lot of that went away more so due to the fact that people are finally aware of the fact that he was doing that. I mean, like, it's not like I don't know anything about the whole situation as far as like what his habits are as a person, but what I was seeing looked like somebody who wasn't mature, like somebody who's kind of immature, treating the situation like they're still 20 years old, trying to be the top dog. And like, no, like, you need to like grow up, and you need to like have a company, basically. Like, you have to have this, like, you have to be mature, you have to be an adult, you have to do all this stuff. And like, without a lot of the integrity there, like, what ends up happening is you connect yourself with all these different artists, but you don't actually hit the mark, which is at home. The people at home. Like, at some point, like, Drake doesn't need to do anything. He could just retire. He could just make money off of the residuals and not do anything. He doesn't have to do this. Why would he have to do this unless there is some sort of like deep internalized thing where he feels like he needs to be the top dog. He needs to be number one. He needs to have this control. And that doesn't need to happen. Like, it like clearly doesn't need to happen. And like, clearly people are like sick of it, and they're just like, this is stupid. But suing the hand that feeds is a tactic to try to persuade people away from reality, which is that the guy's been payola scheming it. Like, this isn't going to change anything. As far, the funny thing is, like, it's to try to put eyes away from his own payola scheme, to try to make it look like, oh, look, they fucked in, they did it bad, but it's bad because they made me look bad. It's like, yeah, it made you look bad because it's hip hop. Like, that's culture. That's the culture that you're part of. Like, people die over this shit. Like, that's the silliest part. It's like, oh, like, you and your posse being called pedophiles for obviously preying upon younger women, so that, which is, to me, like, I never thought Drake was just a straight up pedophile. I just thought he was I always thought that he was just a guy who had sex with children. Not children. No, I just thought that he was a guy that had sex with like teenagers, like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, to stay relevant, like a Leonardo DiCaprio kind of guy, to give him youth. At some point that like seems to be like, the sex is just sex. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be anyone. But beyond the sex, the actual like reality of it is that he's doing it to prey, to get information that he wouldn't be able to get from people. Like, he needs to know what these girls are listening to so that he can jock those people's styles and look like those people and stay relevant. Because otherwise, Drake is just some goofy dude. Like, he's just a goofy dude. Like, we know that. Like, everybody just calls him corny and like knows that he's just a goofy ass dude. The only thing he has going for him is the fact that he tries to stay relevant with women. But he's been staying relevant with women in a specific pocket for so long, and that people have noticed that and are like, okay, like, you can't do that. You're too old. And he's like losing his shit. He's like literally suing the hand that feeds because he's losing his shit, because he can't because he's realizing that to stay relevant in his own lane, he would have to like mature. He'd have to grow up. He'd have to become like an actual, people have to realize he's a father. Like, you'd have to realize he has children, even though he denies it. It's like that sort of thing. Like, hey, like, you do know you have kids, right? You know that you're a father. You know that you can stop pretending like you're, all that sort of stuff. So that's the whole point of the Kendrick thing, is being like, hey, like, this whole like paying the scheme to make you look like you're the greatest of all time, nobody believes it. And now nobody believes it. And so he has to try to sue and do all this stuff to try to repress and put it in the corner, and it's just like done. It's like, we know you have been doing the payola. We know that. Everybody, there's receipts that people have posted being like, you're the biggest hypocrite ever. Like, shut the fuck up. And so that look doesn't look good on you. But then you're just going to keep doing it. It's like, at some point, what you realize is that as soon as he did that, I realized, like, oh, the dude's probably gone without pussy for like 2 days. That's it. It's like probably just gone without pussy because people are afraid to reply back to him. And it's like, he's gone without pussy, the young pussy. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's confused. He's angry. His addiction isn't being hit. Of course, he's just fucking shot. And that's like the music industry. It's like fucking running out of gas because they can't have creative people because they can't have honest, normal people. They have to have these fucking sharks that just want to like steal from everybody else and like thieve every idea that they possibly can and like fucking have the connections and just be there. It's like, why the fuck do you think Sabrina Carpenter is a thing? Like, that's just a fucking pop machine. That's a machine. It's not a real person. It's just a machine. Like, until she's like, nah, this is stupid, I'm not fucking doing this. Also, like, smoke DMT. Like, until that happens, like, I don't know, like, it's a machine. Like, it's Disney Channel. Like, who gives a shit? That's like giving high remarks to a fucking NSYNC album in the 1990s. It's like, it wouldn't have happened. It's like, the times have fucking changed. Your whole entire world is, like, they're literally putting pop albums in the top 10 for indie publications. That shouldn't happen. Your world is fucked. Like, these kids don't, and then these kids go and they're like, I guess this is the same as the Smile. Like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, and the Smile sucks. So it's like, and that's just as for me, that's my opinion, is like, okay, well, we need like bands that are interesting again, like artists that are doing stuff that's cool, and that comes from a different place. That comes from not from money. It comes from like or success, or even from like anything like that. It comes from literally like the purest part of being like, I need to make joy from my art. That's the purest form, you know. And then God, I guess, but like, you know, you had that shitty Jesus is King album, so it's like that God is God, right? Like, so you have to really like spiritualize it. So it's just kind of like you can't use things to get stuff that you want. You have to use things to make people understand the things that are real. That's the art. That's art. So as soon as people start realizing that, that's when all of the big names start to crumble and all that starts to. So I'm glad about, you know, the whole Kendrick beef thing, and like, you know, I'm happy about a lot of that situation. I think a lot of the people that are beefing about it in the background are clowns and jokers, which is always good. You need that. And then the people that are in the foreground are, you know, gonna keep making money. And it's like, okay, well, you know, people talk about the CEOs, like, oh, CEOs, like, hell yeah, the CEO got shot. It's like, you should kill the CEO of a company like that instead, for a cultural reason, right? The pharma, I get that. That's more justifiable. But from a cultural perspective, I'm kind of like, hey, you know, like, things got to change. Like, people, like, one of the best things that could have ever happened to hip hop was when Biggie and Tupac died. And I don't mean that in like a positive way. I mean, like, it really did affect hip hop in a way where like people had to smart up after that. You know, the gangster rap stuff died after that. It was, and then pop rap kind of like took off. So it was like divergent into like, hey, hip hop has an underground, hip hop has a main foreground. And then now it's all fucking, like, it's just there's no, it's the same, the country music, pop music, hip hop, all of it's the same crap now, and none of it is actually unique in any way. Why am I craving, I want the old school Burger King chicken nuggets. Do they have the old school Burger King chicken nuggets at Burger King? Like, I literally I don't want chicken fries. I just want the That's like the weirdest craving ever. Damn. Still doing breakfast. So no, we will not be doing that right away. I do want to check that though. I would like that very much. Even though I hate Burger King. The burgers are awful, but like there's specifically the old school Burger King chicken nuggets from back in the day. They don't make them anymore. I want to see if I, like where's the picture? Yeah, dude. If I could bring back one food from my childhood, it's the old school Burger King chicken nuggets from like the early 2000s. They were just like, they tasted better than any chicken nugget ever. They had so much more flavor to them. And like, I don't know what it was about. The chicken fries are okay. They're like, the fact that they still exist is so disappointing. And then the fact that they made new chicken nuggets and it's like, the new chicken nuggets are bad. They're just small, like crappy ones. And it's like, dude, fucking old school chicken nuggets were so good. They had like the lines on them. So good. I'm like running out of steam now. What's our stream count at? It's an hour and almost an hour 30. Okay. I'm about done. I think I'm about done. I might do we'll see. I want to clean up a little bit. I need a vacuum in here and then cuz the floor is all fucking dirty and then so to take the drums out, vacuum, and then Zhao Hong Shu. Yeah, I gotta fucking I can't keep doing that. I gotta stop. I might do a live stream later for like music. We may do some streaming stuff. I finally got a headphone jack extender and I got some like cheapo the Amazon ones because like I was like the Tascams are really quite poor quality. This is a really high quality extender lead I bought, so I could all my headphones now, like any headphone now, I'm like I refuse to buy headphones that are pre-wired. They got to have the wire built in. These weigh nothing, and yeah, they're cool. I like them a lot. I like them. And now I have a Tascam too, so like eventually I'm probably going to buy a headphone mixer too so that we can do some overdubbing and tapping in here so we can get more than one person, probably two people in here. And my goal is to eventually do a full-blown live stream for a band setup. I would like to get the RC600 and then have a full-blown looping band setup. So that like the band can jam over a loop, but that's like down the freaking lane. And then I have to fix some stuff because like it's really hard for me to get over to my pedals. So well, still be working on that. Anyways, yeah, I'll probably take off right now. I had the big like break in the middle when my girlfriend came home. It was on me. The next RFS is probably more so just going to be about general music stuff. I didn't talk about year-end music, and I was not into music this year. Didn't really listen to any new music. I did listen to a couple things. I did listen to that MJ Linderman album. I was like not really into it, and it's just I've never been into Pavement too much, by the way. And then I listened to a couple like big albums when they came out because I was just like, I'll take a listen. And yeah, that's probably about all that I listened to as far as like new stuff, and then like a handful of tracks and things. So I wasn't like really a big fan of like major releases or new music that came out this year. It was pretty like pretty dry year for releases. Because not a lot of rock releases, a lot of like, I mean, there's a few like friends bands and stuff like that that release stuff, but as far as like big like game changing records, I didn't feel like anything particularly came out this year that was like that impressive or major. And then like the stuff that did get really really good reviews, like I'm the demographic for that Cindy Lee record, and I'm sorry, but like I'm guessing people are starved for Ariel Pink. Is that what it is? Like people are just starved for Ariel Pink, that they want approval, like the approved Ariel Pink? Cuz like come on, man. Like really, I mean like Foxygen, Ariel Pink, like that's what that music is, except like more like just like it got bashed out. So putting that as your number one album of the year seems more like a move than it is like, oh, this is a fucking album with bangers. Like no, it's just like a bunch of stuff that sounds like stuff that you like, and but like vague and so for me, being somebody who likes that kind of genre of music, to like listen to it and be like eh? Huh? I'm like a little just like, okay, like I'm still kind of also like, I need bands. I need more than one artist on a record. I need like a group of people collaborating and making something. So it's like that's the other reason why I'm always kind of like, when it comes to rock music or power pop, it's just like, or any kind of lo-fi music, I'm just like, without the interplay of live music being there interjected, a lot of it becomes wank. And like I do that, but I know that. So it's like if I'm listening to my own music, I'm like, this is kind of wanky. So I mean, and that's the way I look at it, is like until people start giving a shit about my own music, like I'm not gonna give a shit about your wank. Like nah, like it's the same thing. And so like everybody else's music gets tied. That's the same wank gets tied together. And for me, like I have to have this other level of like writing and art and direction, and everything has to be different. So I can't just have it be like a guy or a girl or somebody just like making stuff in the room. I do that. So that's my opinion about that. What was the other big one? Oh, Brat. I don't fucking care about Brat. If Charlie wants to hit me up to make that fucking Lou Reed style record, I'm down. But otherwise, I don't care about Brat.